Hey there, in today's video we're going over the 2022-2023 TMSCA General Math Test number 9. Let's do it. Alright, number 1, 608 plus 312 plus 998. Alright, so in this problem we first have to solve the 312 plus 998 because it's in the parentheses, and then we can add the 608. So 312 plus 998. Alright, 2 plus 8 is 10, so we write a 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 9 is 11, so we write a 1 and carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 9 is 13, so we write 1, 3, and we had 1, 3, 1, 0. Alright, now we have to add the 608. So 13, 10, plus 608. So that's 8, there's a 1, 9, and 8. So it becomes 19, 18, and that's your answer. Next, 6 2/5 minus 3 3/4. Alright, so the first thing we can do is 6 minus 3, because we can break these two down from 6 2/5 minus 3 3/4, and we can break it down into the whole number in the fractions. So first, 6 minus 3, that's just 3. So now we're left with 3, and then we have 2/5 minus 3/4. So we can just add these together. But we need to solve for this. So first we need to bring them to a common denominator. The common denominator of 5 and 4 is 20. So we can multiply 2 by 4 and we can multiply 3 by 5 to get 8 over 20 minus 15 over 20. Alright, 8 over 20 minus 15 over 20 is equal to negative 7/20. So now we have 3 minus 7/20. Okay, so we can just say that 3 minus 7/20 is 2 and 13/20 because we're getting rid of 1 and then we're subtracting the 7. So that's your answer. Next, 359 times 18 equals what rounded to the nearest hundred? Alright, so first we can break down the 18 into 10 and 8. That makes our multiplication much simpler because now instead of doing 359 times 18 at once, we can just do 359 times 10 plus 359 times 8. Alright, so 359 times 10, you're just adding a 0 at the end, so that's obviously 3,590. Alright, next, 359 times 8. Well, 9 times 8 is 72, 50 times 8 is 400, and 300 times 8 is 2,400. So this becomes 2,872. Alright, now you have to do 3,590 plus 2,872. 0 plus 2 is 2, 9 plus 7 is 16, so you write 6 and carry the 1. 6 plus 8 is 14, we write 4 and carry the 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, so we're left with 6,462. Now we need to round it to the nearest hundred. Alright, so we can cross off the ones digit because that's not relevant to us because we're looking for the hundreds place, which is here. So we just need the digit after that, which is 6. 6 is greater than 5, meaning we round up, so 4 becomes 5. So this becomes 6,500, and that's your answer. Next, what is 96 divided by 4 divided by 1.5? Alright, this is actually very simple if we break this down. So 96 divided by 4. Alright, so 96 divided by 4 is 24. Next, 24 divided by 1.5. Another way of writing 1.5 is 3 over 2. So you can write this as 24 divided by 3 over 2. Now a rule when we're dividing by a fraction is, if we do the reciprocal of the fraction, we can change the division into a multiplication. So 24 divided by 3 over 2 is the same thing as 24 times 2 over 3. This is very simple to solve. 24 times 2 is 48, and then 48 divided by 3 is 16, and that's your answer. Next, Lakita worked for 14 and a half hours last week. If Lakita earns $12.40 per hour of work, how much did Lakita earn last week, assuming no taxes were taken out of her pay? Alright, so she's worked for 14.5 hours. Alright, and per hour she gets $12.40. So how much does she work in total last week? So if she worked 14.5 hours and she's earning $12.40 per hour, the total amount of pay was 14.5 or 14.5 times 12.4 or $12.40. Alright, this is just simple multiplication. So we can actually shift these decimal places back one and then just write that we have two dots. Okay? Now this becomes 145 times 124. This is pretty simple to solve. First, 4 times 145. 4 times 145 is 580. Next, 20 times 145. Well, 2 times 145 is 290. So 20 times 145 would be 2,900. Next, 100 times 145. You just have to add two zeros at the end, which makes it 14500. Alright, now we just add all these up. So that's 0, 8, then 5 plus 9 plus 5. 5 plus 9 plus 5 is 19. So we carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7. And then we have 1. So we get 17,980. However, we have these two decimal places. So we have to shift it forward two decimal places now. So the decimal place is right here, and we go 1, 2. So it becomes $179.80, and that's your answer. Next, Sammy is facing west. What direction will Sammy be facing if she makes a 1/4 of a revolution clockwise? Alright, so let's draw a compass quickly. Alright, so you have north, south, east, west on a compass. So Sammy is facing west. So let's put a dot there for Sammy. So if she makes a 1/4 of a revolution clockwise, where will she be facing? Alright, so first, a revolution just means she's turning. And 1/4 means she's just moving one direction. So if she's moving 1/4 clockwise, the clockwise direction is the way the clock spins. So clock goes in this direction. That means she's moving 1/4 of a revolution clockwise, so she's turning 1/4 of the way in the direction of a clock, which makes her end up at north. So that's your answer. Next, classify the triangle with angles measuring 21 degrees, 88 degrees, and 71 degrees. Alright, so we have to find the measure of each of these angles. So we already know what the actual measure is, but what are these measures called? Well, there are three main measures. There's acute, right, and obtuse. So an angle is acute if it's less than 90 degrees. An angle is right if it's equal to 90 degrees. And an angle is obtuse if it's greater than 90 degrees. However, how do we know if a triangle is acute, right, or obtuse? Well, an acute triangle will have all three angles acute. A right triangle will have two acute angles and one right angle, and an obtuse angle will have one obtuse angle and two acute angles. Alright, so if we see here, 21 degrees, that is less than 90 degrees, meaning it is acute. Next, 88 degrees, that is also less than 90 degrees, so it's acute. Next, 71 degrees. That is also less than 90 degrees, so that is also acute. As you can see, all three angles are acute, meaning the triangle itself is acute. And that's your answer. Next, 1 hour plus 3 minutes equals how much seconds? Alright, so you first need to know what 1 hour is in seconds. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. But what is 60 minutes in seconds? Well, we know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Alright, that means 60 minutes is just 60 times 60 seconds, which is 3,600 seconds. That means 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. And so now we know what the 1 hour is. We need to find out what the 3 minutes is. So we know 1 minute is 60 seconds. So we can do 60 times 3 to find out the length of 3 minutes. So 60 times 3 is 180. So that means 3 minutes is 180 seconds. Now we can just add 3,600 seconds. That is the hour plus the 3 minutes, which is 180 seconds. That gets you 3,780 seconds. And that's your answer. Next, what is the value of x in the picture below? Alright, so we first need to identify what this shape is. This shape is a pentagon. Alright, now we need to know that we have all the angle measures except for x. So, in a pentagon, there is a total of 540 degrees. That means if we know what the other 4 measures are, we can just find what the x measure is. Alright, so first you have this measure right here. This is a right angle, meaning it's 90 degrees. Alright, so you have 90 degrees. Then you have the 106 degrees. Then you have 111 degrees. Then you have 83 degrees. Alright, so if you add this up, this gets you 390 degrees. Alright, now we know what all the other 4 angle measures add up to. Now we need to find the 5th one. We can doing that by subtracting the measure of all 4 angle measures from the total amount of angles measured, which is 540 minus 390. That gets you 150, and that's your answer. Next, 65 kilometers is equal to how many decimeters? Alright, so we first need to know what 1 kilometer is equal to in decimeters. So 1 kilometer is equal to 10,000 decimeters. That means how much 65 kilometers is just 65 times 10,000. Alright, 65 times 10,000 is just 650,000. And that's your answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to show your support. These videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate it.